Hey there everyone, it is Haz here, and today I want to talk about Lotro's incoming new expansion, Legacy of Morgoth, more precisely the bold strategy of this expansion, not increasing the player's level cap of 150, and what could be behind the scenes regarding this decision. This isn't the first time the level cap stayed the same in Lotro. For instance, a previous expansion, War of the Three Peaks in 2020, also kept the maximum level the same, dubbed as a mini expansion pack, but in contrast it introduced a whole new system to the game called missions that would enrich content for everyone. The cycle of big expansion and mini expansions rotating has been mentioned by some other developers too recently, but despite calling some of them mini expansions, they still tend to grow out of bounds and follow the ambition of the team trying to accomplish something bigger, so in the end there never really was a mini expansion for them. In recent developer vlogs, lead designer Orion has mentioned, and I have reported it before, that 2024 has been a recovery year for the team, as they couldn't accomplish some of their goals they set for this period on their roadmap, but at the same time they managed to lay the foundations that have a major impact for following years, and they are in a much better position moving forward. In regards to Legacy of Morgoth, Orion said in an interview with Bloodborne, "We want to start relying more upon the content and addressing the long-term systems that we need to address, and that's kinda what we're going on with this expansion." He did follow by stating it's not necessarily the direction for all future expansions, but reading between the lines, it sounds like while Legacy of Morgoth is bringing in rich new stories, 4 brand new areas designed, and lots of exciting features, behind the scenes it also is an expansion where they want to lay some of the foundations for the future and focus on polishing systems that affect a larger player base, and there's a few signs of this. One major feature that's been mentioned throughout almost every single developer interview or vlog was SSG's planned level downscaling system that's been teased for this year but has been delayed until a later date. The main idea behind the downscaling system seems to be the optional ability to scale a player's level to the area they're in and allow them to engage with the content there with an appropriate power level to enjoy it and join other players or your friends there. This system at its core is awfully familiar with the War of the Three Peaks missions in the sense that it is a game system that unlocks something big for everyone in Lotro, not just players in the next expansion zones or on a certain level. Recently, Orion also talked about their advertised kinships rework and how they want to tie these two systems together even more for a much greater positive effect, helping players connect throughout Lotro and encourage adventuring together for fun and of course various incentives and cool rewards. He went on talking about how he expects downscaling to have major impact on how Lord of the Rings Online would be played, as it will affect players of all levels, improve the new player experience or playing with friends, not to mention a proper val-balanced downscaling will open up 17 years worth of content if done right. Imagine going back to doing Moria dungeons and raids with proper difficulty for new cosmetics or other incentives, and I agree, if this works out, then it gives endless amount of content for SSG to work with. Now, downscaling will likely arrive sometimes during Legacy of Morgoth, but personally I think it was a system that was supposed to be ready by around this time and would be the major big free upgrade next to the expansion release that you would say is one of the big things for this year. All of this is not to say that Legacy of Morgoth is in fact a mini expansion. I think it's far from it. If you've been following senior world designer Scenario's casual stroll through Legacy of Morgoth streams, he described multiple times how much of a greater endeavor this expansion was for the team, focusing on brand new lore, areas, art assets, especially in his case, and in the final episode of visiting the instances, how instance design is also getting an upgrade. From multiple sources now, there's been hints that either SSG managed to hire brand new developers to help them out, or there was some other sort of restructuring within the team, I don't know. But the new dungeons, instances, and the upcoming raid next year are supposed to be a fairly big upgrade to what has been presented before, and sounded like there's a whole new instance design team with new ideas and direction to make the upcoming dungeons feel modern, which is quite exciting I think for everyone, especially the endgame crowd. In addition to an expected increase in dungeon experience, Orion also stated that they had multiple meetings where they restructured what they want to consider as an expansion for the team. He said, "There has to be enough content that is not consumed right away. There needs to be a proper incentive or advancement structure built inside of it, and some kind of systemic aspect to it that is different and new enough for players to move towards this. Now, since the level cap stays the same this time around, that means there's still supposed to be some sort of advancement in the expansion, and hopefully not just in the form of better items. There's been mention recently of a new reputation system and the return of more regional storytelling that hints towards some form of zone progression within Legacy of Morgoth, and while this is just speculation on my part, it almost sounds like the design direction of Guild Wars 2 expansions, where they aren't increasing the level cap of players, but each expansion is introducing a new in-game system that expands on the power of the player, add new features or abilities. So from my point of view, I'm hoping for a robust and interesting region-based reputation system with exciting deeds, daily or weekly tasks that have this sort of advancement in them. All in all, from what I could research and dig into, I wouldn't say that Legacy of Morgoth is a mini expansion, and that is why the level cap stays 150. To me, it sounds much more like SSG has finally identified a weak spot in Lotro, being the ever-expanding level cap to the continued detriment of newer players. And with all the upcoming big features and improvements to Lotro, it is not surprising if they want to improve the entry into their title and focus on new player retention. The 64-bit servers, improvements for lag, the announced big quality of life update, the downscaling system, and the kinship reworks all point towards a major effort to bring in new and old players back into Lotro. If you watched this video this far, I appreciate it a lot. Make sure to comment Morgoth below so that I know it. Share your thoughts regarding the expansion and the whole level cap situation if you have any. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for future Lord of the Rings Online content on the channel. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you the next time.